what an insanely frustrating season it was for this team. It was a slog on offense pretty much 90% of the time.
Yeah, they only scored more than 30 points in 2 games.
And that was their MO in their championship year, is that points were a cropper that year. And they couldn't run it. You know, I'll ask Rick Stroud, why did this team go 8-10 this year? 8-9 in the regular season, obviously one and done in the postseason. Why do they go 8-10? And I think here lies the 2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't.
Yeah.
And the games they won, you know, their best games of the year, they ran it. Against Dallas in week 1, the Munich game that I called, it was a 100-yard game for Rashad White. Leonard Fournette was also having a very good game. You know, and that's the amazing part about Tom Brady. At age 45, slinging it. I'm like, will we ever see somebody so successful? And yes, I mean, the wins weren't there and the third and longs weren't there, but third and longs are just not going to be there when you can't protect well enough up front because you can't run. It doesn't matter who's firing the footballs back there. It could be a goat, could be an actual goat, you know, like a literal animal on 4 feet. You're not going to win. You're just not going to win. But will we ever see somebody, you know, match their age in passing attempts with regularity like we saw Tom Brady do this year?
Including the playoff game, he threw it 800 times this year.
And by the way, when you say words like that, you use that as an exaggeration. What do you throw it, like 800 times?
Yeah, no.
And
literally.
that's the accurate number.
799. Crazy.
You can't win football games like that. You just can't. You can't allow the defense to just pin its ears back. And the only reason why they've scored the points that they scored and had the modicum of success on offense that they had is because Brady is the ultimate trigger man. He gets rid of the football. He diagnoses the play like nobody else, and he gets rid of it. And if he holds on to it, that's when mistakes happen. That's when sacks occur, and that's when games are lost. Here lies the 2022 Buccaneers. They couldn't run the ball because that affects the defense as well. I mean, you got Evans, who had like a 3-month slump of not catching a touchdown pass. Boy, the red zone problems. If this team, they miss Gronk. That's as big as it gets right there.
Or just that big other end zone instead of just Mike Evans. Someone to throw the ball to in the red zone.
Running it in the red zone would be helpful, too. That's part of the reason why the Chargers were successful in the red zone is just give it to Eckler. He'll just lean on people. Or flip it out to Eckler. Eckler's like one of the greatest red zone players the league's seen in years.
Yep.
So, you know, and if you could just start leaning on people inside the 20, they couldn't. And that's what they did with Fournette in the championship years. I think it's as simple as that. They couldn't run the football. They just couldn't. And then they lost their Pro Bowl center in day 2 of training camp, didn't get him back to last night. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.